got these free wild crab apples. I think that's what my grandmother calls them. Just an apple tree in some lady's yard, and she said that she didn't want them, so we could come get them. After we picked them, we realized that they weren't ripe. Like, you can't really eat this yet. Suppose it'll give you a tummy ache. So I didn't want them to go to waste, so I Googled it. And apparently you can make pectin, you know, the stuff that you use to make jam, to make it jammy. You can make pectin from this. I've got about, I think, 12 pounds here. I am going to use a recipe that I found online. It's actually a video that I just watched. I'm just going to chop these up and get them on the stove and boil them, and supposedly it'll make pectin. And then after I make the pectin, I'm going to put it in mason jars, and I'm going to try water bath canning, but that'll be the next step. So you're supposed to stem all of these and then wash them, and then I'll cut them up into quarters and put them on to boil with some water. My cut up apples starting to turn a little bit brown, but that's okay. Okay, pretty full. So I only did probably half instead of doing all of them, just because I knew that my pot would be pretty full. And you're supposed to cover it with just enough water, or fill it with just enough water to cover the apples. Not too much water. Okay, and then I'm just supposed to boil this. So I'm going to bring this to a low boil. I put it on 5, so like medium, just because I know that it'll take a little bit of time, but I don't want it to take forever. There's one video that I saw online that said to cook them on low kind of all day, but then another video said to boil them for 20 minutes. So I'm going to do kind of in the middle. Just bring them to a boil over low heat, and then boil them for a little while. See how it goes. Okay, so once it came up to a boil, I set the timer for 20 minutes, and then I let it go for probably about 10-ish more minutes after that. Which, I mean, it probably would have been fine, but I just was on Instagram, and so I let it keep going. Let me get my, I turned the oven off, and now I just have to put it in the strainer. Okay, here we go. So that is as much as I can fit with that one strainer. I've got another one. I think I'll well, but we will see what happens. Okay, so now I'm supposed to let this strain overnight. I'm just going to kind of sit this on the back of the counter, and I'll let you know what it looks like in the morning. Okay, so I let this stuff sit out overnight. I honestly don't know that I needed to let it sit out overnight because it got pretty gelled up. after the first maybe 2 hours or so, like the top bit, but I guess maybe it looks a little fuller, so maybe it didn't hurt. Anyway, so the next step I'm gonna do is put this gunk somewhere. I'm gonna put this in the compost bin. I'll put this down, and then I'm supposed to process the leftover goo for about 20 minutes, and then it's supposed to be pectin after that. So I'm gonna pour this in here and see how it goes. So while this is supposed to boil for 20 minutes, so while I'm doing that, I'm going to get my canning supplies ready, because I'm going to can this after it's done. To a boil, and then wait for it to boil for 20 minutes. So I mean, it does take time, but I mean, it's not that bad. Okay, so I have been reducing this pectin for a while. I don't even know how long. Definitely more than 20 minutes, maybe closer to 40. I've tried this alcohol test that I've seen on the internet. It says to put a little bit of alcohol in a little bowl, pour your cooled down pectin into the alcohol, and if it gels, then it should be right. However, mine hasn't gelled yet. I've tried it several times, and then I just keep reducing. It's still not working. So, what I'm going to try to do at this point is take the pectin out of the pot. I'm going to put it in jars. I'm going to cool it way down. I read something online that said that if the pectin is hot at all, then the alcohol test won't work. So I'm going to try that and see. I feel like I can't really reduce it any more than this at this point. So it's not going exactly perfectly. So we'll see how it goes. I don't know. I think my only option is to reduce it more. Okay, so my pectin didn't gel. What I'm going to do is pour it back into the pot. I'm thinking that maybe it has too much apple maybe still in it, too many particles. So I'm going to put my strainer over the pot, and I'm going to put just a dishcloth over it. You could just use cheesecloth or whatever, but I don't have cheesecloth. These are just IKEA towels. See if this works. was a lot that came through that. So I wonder if maybe that's why it didn't gel. So next time I make these, because I'm going to make some with this other bowl of apples, I'll make sure to strain it better before I reprocess it. That's what I'll do. Okay, so I strained my pectin again, poured it back on the stove, put it on there to boil for 20 more minutes. I really think that the problem was that I didn't strain it when I let it sit overnight, and then this morning I put it on the stove to process. I didn't strain it through a cheesecloth or a dish towel, and I think that that was the problem. So I'll know for next time. It'll go a little bit smoother, I think. It won't take so long. I poured a little bit of the pectin into this jar and let it cool. Because again, if it's hot, this alcohol test won't work. Let it cool for probably about 15 minutes or so. I think if I would have put it like on a plate or something, maybe it could have cooled faster. And put it in the alcohol, and it has finally gelled. It's probably hard to tell, but it's a gel. So yeah, it's not like super thick gel, but I'm sure it'll get better the more that I try it. So now I'm going to put them in their water bath to can, and hopefully they'll last and last, and I'll be able to use them out of my pantry for a while.